Hey everybody, this is Alzorath and welcome to GamerFi. Today we're taking a look at the prototype for the World War Machine, which is an action RPG, sort of, with robot themes. It almost feels like Diablo 2 meets Mech Warrior, if you will. It fills a very interesting niche that I'm sure some of you will definitely enjoy. As far as the options menu itself, you can only really access that in-game as far as I can tell. Otherwise, it's just through the Unity launcher. Currently, I have it set to beautiful. As far as this opening screen, this is because I've gone through and played a decent amount. I've gotten up to a level, I believe, 11 or 12, which means I unlocked the escort missions, which I have yet to try yet. I'll be trying those in the very near future. But we'll be doing an exploration one here, which shows off a basic level. It's not currently procedurally generated, but in the final game, the areas will be procedurally generated. There's several play types. Right now, you have the exploration, the escort, the survival, and I believe that's going to be assassination, but I can't quite get over there. Those would be unlocked when the full game releases. Difficulty levels, you have quite a few. Even just in the test, you get up to a 6th level, which is not super hard, but hard enough. And then you have even more on top of that in terms of the full game. Better items will drop whenever you get to higher difficulties, but right now we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and go with the ironware since I'm going to be commentating. Otherwise, I would just go straight up to actuator, which I was actually playing earlier. So let's go ahead and we can select either one that we want. You can see a demo of it in there. I'm going to go with exploration because that'll show off the mechanics the best. Let's go ahead and click play and it'll show off the controls. I don't think you can rebind them, but yeah. That would be nice to have it changed to so you can rebind them, possibly even have controller support, because I can see this working out fairly well with that. Let's go ahead and click accept and it'll go straight into the game. We'll have our launch down. The graphics on this are fairly good. Let's go ahead and see it land. And you'll see that things drop out and we go ahead and we can fire our guns and move around. The animations are relatively smooth. Recording is impeding my graphics slightly, as you would expect, but you can turn them down if you really want. You have machine guns, you have artillery, which is quite nice looking. You have item drops. Now, not all item drops are automatic grabs, just the ones that stack, it seems, because there are certain items that you get that will not stack that you can equip. Currently, I have actually already broken down a lot of my weapons, but there is a variety here. You have rockets that you can control. You have mortars, which you saw earlier. You have just straight fire rockets. You have shotguns. You have rail guns and all this kind of other stuff. And you can actually move it around on your machine to make a different look if you really want, or even different fire arcs. Personally, I like having it very symmetrical, but that's just my preferences. Now, what you equip actually determines where it would be placed on you. For example, if I equipped a certain item under left mouse button, it would be in a different location than if I equipped it under, say, right or middle mouse button. So that's kind of interesting. Over on the left, you have your stat systems. You can lower them and you can raise them as you feel you want to. I'm going to go ahead and just pump weapon systems up to increase my DPS. It gives you a lot of information in terms of that. You can change your functions, which are these things down here if memory serves. No, wait, functions are these. These are your abilities. Currently, I have EMP, Magnetic Wall, and Orbital Strike. There's several other things, such as Uproot, which allows you to pull enemies towards you. You have your Magnetic Blast, which absorbs all the energy of projectiles fired into it and then explodes. You have the Hack, which causes you to control enemies. We're going to see the Magnetic Wall, which pulls up armor. Orbital Strike is basically an ion cannon. You have a little AoE effect thing there with perforate. EMP shuts enemies down, and you have a dash effect. Currently, I'm going to be using dash, EMP, magnetic wall, and orbital strike. I don't use these a whole lot because the weapons seem sufficient to do the job. I imagine in later difficulties, it would be a lot more complicated. There is going to be a crafting system, and currently it's fairly minimal from what I can tell, but maybe I just haven't unlocked all the items for it. Currently, I have dual pistols equipped because they produce very little heat. I have machine guns for my straight fire, and I have artillery for my just indirect fire that deals massive damage. Currently I have it geared, you can gear it towards heat conservation, or you can gear it towards damage focus. I'm going damage focus because frankly, if I blow things away, it's a lot easier. So let's go ahead. Here's the inventory system, by the way. It's got limited space. It doesn't really delineate where the cutoff is here, which is a little bit on the frustrating side, but I have a feeling it'd be easy to just indicate that with different colors in the background. So let's go ahead and go back and look at this. You have, as I showed before, various weapons. The pistols, as are fairly obvious, not going to have much punch to them. I do wish they had slightly more kind of energy to them, but for what they are, they kind of fit the theme fairly well. You have the machine gun, which feels a little more bassy, and it actually does decent damage. You'll notice that if I aim really close to myself, I cross my fire, whereas if I aim really far away, it kind of focuses on that point. That is true of pretty much every weapon. I can drop artillery shells anywhere I want, and I can do them while moving. I think it would add a little bit more weight to it if whenever you were firing artillery, if you had to root yourself, because right now I can just run along and bomb an entire area without even pausing or thinking twice about it, which is a little bit awkward feeling. It feels like it doesn't have as much weight to it as it should, but the feeling of the explosions is definitely very nice. I do wish there was a bit more impact of your weapons on your movement, but I definitely understand from an indie title that's expecting a little bit much, although the graphical fidelity is easily competitive with things like Diablo 2, probably even Path of Exile, which itself is a bit of an indie title. So let's go over here. We have a spec file and we have railguns, and here we have enemies jumping in. They tend to do this more often than not. Let's go ahead and drop these in our path. We can even drop them ahead of ourselves. We're not going to be damaged by our own abilities. As you can see, as I'm firing, my weapon heat goes up, which is an important thing to keep track of, because if you overheat, you can't fire for a while, which really sucks. You can chop down and destroy much of the terrain, which is a nice change compared to other action RPGs. As you can see, the pistols do almost no damage, but the machine gun, on the other hand, really mows down their life. The artillery, by the way, is even stronger, as you could tell from whenever I was bombarding the other guys. On the radar, you can see... Oh, these guys explode. Let's go ahead and take him away. On the radar, you can see items. You can see various enemies as red dots. The items are orange dots to an extent. So if we come down here, I can go ahead and show you what this little orange dot is down here. You automatically face the cursor, by the way, is going to be one of these little items detected spots, and you can go ahead and grab the pistol and whatever else. You can break down items into components for crafting, which is why I have less items in my inventory. Inventory seems to be fairly persistent, so that's pretty nice. I'm going to go ahead and probably try dying to show you that real quick, because I have a feeling it's going to impact the balance of this game a little bit, because there really doesn't feel like there's a penalty to dying. And I just accidentally healed by killing all of them. Let's go ahead and get this guy to kill us. Come here, kill me. Yep, he's going to take out part of my shields, and then you'll notice that the iron symbol down here tends to go away as I get my butt pounded. You'll see I'll collapse, and then this little landing reticule pops up. This determines where my replacement body will drop. Doesn't really look like there's any drawback to doing this. If there was, it would be kind of nice, but I don't see how they could kind of integrate it in there. Possibly an XP loss or something like that, although I might have gotten one and just not noticed it. Let's go ahead and die again and check. Let's see. Where's the next little group of enemies? Right up here. Okay. Come for me. Blow me up. I can die countless times. It doesn't really matter. Come on, kill me. On this difficulty, it's not uncommon to die, but it's pretty easy to avoid it. But yeah, no XP loss, no anything like that. You just drop in and you're perfectly fine. Your landing craft does deal damage to nearby enemies, though. So if you need that to take out a group of enemies, it can work pretty good that way. Let's go ahead, get those items, and let's go ahead and get these guys with artillery barrages. Seems to be probably the easiest tactic to win. Now, the multiplayer in this is currently not active in the prototype, but it is definitely an interesting thing. It's supposed to have 5-player drop in, drop out kind of multiplayer, which would definitely work with this, where you could kind of get a team together and take on a specific area. I'm curious if there's going to be a heavy reliance on a storyline mode, or if it's just going to be sort of little mini missions that are procedurally generated. I can't really tell that from the demo, but it seems like it would benefit from a campaign mode as well. You are basically in eternal struggle with other robots, by the way. Humanity has died, and you are actually the consciousness of humans that are transmitted through nodes. There's 3 different nodes, and right here you're representing 2 of them. You're one, and the enemies are another one. Let's go ahead and blow everything up. Whee! Explosions everywhere! Let's go ahead and get back, and let's go ahead and drop that in. So we can cool down while that thing's firing, basically. So let's go ahead and... we don't need the repair kit. These drop more frequently on the lower difficulties, less frequently on the higher difficulties. I think they should have probably remained static, because on the higher difficulties you do tend to take a lot more damage per swing, with difficulty 1 being just a cakewalk like nobody's business. I think that's about it from this early prototype. I look forward to seeing the more finished game, and possibly even a Kickstarter from this, like a proper Kickstarter, not just an Indiegogo campaign. It was part of the Square Enix, whatever you want to call it, sort of indie promotion thing that they've been working on. Though I haven't heard too much word from how well that's been going for Square. It's an interesting little project, and I look forward to seeing how it progresses in time, but we'll see how it does compared to just straight up Kickstarters. Let's go ahead and kill that. Oh, he evaded. He teleported off somewhere. But that gives you a basic idea of this. The goal of this particular little just demo run is to get to the exit point and just leave. That seems to be the entire point of it. If this was procedurally generated, it would be a little bit more challenging, but since it's just a prototype, this is more a proof of concept, and it uses a static level. So, and by the way, yes, almost everything is destructible. If you'll notice, the walls come crumbling down, trees fall over. Can't quite destroy the girders, but you can destroy pretty much all the vehicles, and we can blow away pretty much anything that wants to come towards us. Yeah. So, go ahead and take a look at it. You can find information on their website. If you sign up for their newsletter, you can get in on the prototype as well. It's just going to be a demo, and you just saw me overheat. Let's go ahead and build up a little wall there. Slow that guy down just a little bit. And drop some bombs in on his head. There we go. Obviously, higher difficulties give you better items. But hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to check out this game. And if you want to try out the demo, get on their newsletter and request it. And they will send you a key for Steam to get just the prototype. You're not getting the entire game. So, yeah. Keep gaming, have fun, peace out. This has been Alzorath with a... oh god, it's a boss. I'll keep you around for the boss. See if I can beat him. Elite Ravager. Die. Dang. You are durable, buddy. You are not dying. Let's try C. See if that does more damage. Oh, dang. You are durable. Got to keep moving. This would be a situation where it would be appropriate to have the stationary... oh, dang. How much damage does he take? Die. Did we kill him? Did we kill him? Nope, nope, nope. We're about to get blown up by the little guy following us. Die. Heat overwhelming me. Sorry for not saying as much. I'm trying not to die, because that would be a little bit embarrassing. And the ability system, which is something I actually didn't cover very much, if you watch it really closely, you'll see that it is based on a certain number of uses. You'll see that the ion cannon thing that I'm using ends up usually with like 1.1 uses, because it'll start up at a certain amount. If you use it at 1, it'll go down to 0. The other abilities are similar, and it kind of recharges up, so you can have abilities that you can spam and abilities that you can't spam. So it's definitely something you have to consider when choosing your abilities as to whether you want to be spamming them or using them kind of here and there. And I just completely whiffed with that one. I was up a little bit too far on the screen. Let's see if he drops anything really good. Die, Elite Ravager, please. I just overheated myself. He's almost dead. This barrage should kill him. Yes, it did. And we get some interesting stuff. We got a shotgun from it. And yes, you can overclock, which boosts a certain spec on your mech. Currently, I have it set to weapons, so it just does more damage whenever I'm overclocked. But anyway, now that we've killed the boss, or the special, basically, I will go ahead and let you go, and I will see you guys next time on GamerFi. Bye.